Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Boone Show on My Pulse Radio. We're happy to be with you on a St. Patrick's Day. Didn't have anything green that was clean. I really did not plan well for that. I've got a t-shirt I put on underneath and socks. That's all I could find that was green, but...
I have on green underwear.
Okay, no need to prove it. We've got some good guests today on the show. Holly's not here. She is sick, or so she tells me. Nothing against Blake, who's been here several times, and now all of a sudden Holly says she's sick when you come on. But anyway, our guests are well known to this area, especially the West Pelzer end of this area, and that is Rick Sanders, and he's the current mayor of West Pelzer, and his son, Blake Sanders here, who we know from his Mayor of West Pelzer days, who has now moved on to the House of Representatives.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, moving up in the world. So we'll talk about that and, the differences of governing when you move up the ladder a little bit there. So we'll talk about that. And we'll start off, though, with Rick. Rick, thanks for spending some time and coming to see us today.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you asked me to be here.
All right. Well, you are starting on a new path in West Pelzer as the mayor, and we'll get to that in a minute. But give us kind of the background of you grew up in this area, worked in this area. Give us kind of a background leading up to this point.
So I grew up over in the Williamston area. Spent pretty much all my childhood there. Graduate of Palmetto High School. Spent 37 years at Michelin Tire. Left there as a manager in retirement in 2016. And currently reside on 64 Main Street in West Pelzer. My wife and I took on a project probably back in 2010, 2011. We actually moved the old Pelzer Library, which was built in 1885. We moved it up beside Blake's house, redid it inside and out, and that's where we currently live today.
Oh, really? So, yeah, I didn't know that was you living there.
That's right.
All right, that's cool. Very cool.
Everybody thinks it's just a library.
Yeah. There's actually some stuff going on there. All right, so after all that, you started some businesses. You've always kind of, over the last 10 years anyway, really been into getting things started in West Pelzer yourself. Now, many of those years, your son was the mayor there.
That's correct.
And tell us how you got started with Westies, the Lincoln Tap Room, et cetera.
Well, I think at the time when Blake was actually mayor in West Pelzer, I think every building was vacant except for maybe Milltown, and I think then it was another restaurant, Boots and Thelma's, owned by someone else. So Blake was really pushing in town to get some business. They elected to move Town Hall on Main Street. 2 other buildings were available, and at that time I was retired, took a year off, and kind of did some things I wanted to get caught up on. And joking with some friends about trying to find somewhere where we could sell our antiques. Long story short, my wife and I bought the building in the middle, named it Westies. Most people thought it was from the dog, the Westie dog. And I said, no, it was at the time I had a Westphalia Volkswagen bus. And my wife said, thinking of West Pelzer, she said, how about Westies? So we named it Westies Antiques and Vintage Heirlooms, and that was in 2017. So we are fixing to hit 9 years the first week of May. So we're excited about that.
Goes by quick, doesn't it?
Yep.
What kind of stuff do you have in there?
So currently we have some stuff as far back as 125, 150 years old, all the way up to maybe some replica items, even some upscale items that have been repurposed. So we got, I think, 10 booths in our shop. So that means we have 10 different vendors, and we also have a boutique in our shop.
Oh, that's cool. So if I were just some sort of collector that wanted to come by and check out your shop, as a lot of people do with these, small town shops, et cetera, what would be like some of the collector's items or lines of items that you would have in there?
Well, we've got, for those that like to collect old watches, there's some old watches, some of the more vintage items. If it's furniture, such as dough bowls or pie chest, fishing lures. If you're a fishing lure collector, we've had fountain pens. If you're a fountain pen collector, sold an odd piece this past week, a scale from a doctor's office, which was in a friend of mine's booth, and I thought, well, that'll take forever to sell. This guy came in, he collects scales of all kinds, and he did not have that scale, so he purchased that scale.
Wow.
So
It's funny.
it's just what you look for, and we keep a logbook in our shop. If you come in and you say, hey, you know, I collect old amplifiers. If you get any amplifiers, give me a call. So in our diggings, if we see something or at an estate sale or we get called to clean out a house, you know, I'd give you a buzz and say, hey, we've got a couple of amplifiers here if you want to come look at.
So is that kind of a full-time thing, getting items and going to all
It can be.
cleaning out
It
houses,
was
sales,
probably
all-
more a full-time job in 17. When we first started out, we had enough to fill the store, but as time went on, we depleted it, and then we added some vendors. So now it's not as hard because we have vendors in the shop and we have a couple of areas. So it's not as hard as it used to be, and we keep a little stockpile so when we do sell something, we have something to put back in its place.
Right. So when's the shop open?
Shop is open Wednesday through Saturday from 10 to 5. We do a vintage market twice a year. That's coming up May the 16th. This will be the 9th year that we've had one. We do one in the spring, one in the fall. I will hand pick like 40 vendors. It'll be outside. We usually have a food truck. Lincoln will have mimosa slushies. So we have people come from out of town, you know, all kind of vintage items, some craft items, some, you know, could be honey, vegetables, just a mixed variety.
Sure.
So
Tell us about the tap room.
So the Lincoln Tap Room, we started it in 2019. So it's around the back. It's actually part of the building of Westie's. And our beer garden is next to there. And so we offer about 40 craft beers. So we only have a couple of domestic. Everything else is craft, whether it's IPAs or ciders or stouts or lagers. So we're open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 4 to 9. Sometimes a little later if we have a big event going on. We do a lot of work for some nonprofit groups, a lot for the Lot Project over in Anderson. We do.
You had an event last week, didn't you?
No, that was just a side oyster roast.
Oh,
we do
okay.
our oyster roast for them. It's usually the second week of second Saturday of October.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's a big fundraiser for them. So, and September of 19 is when we started that path.
Well, I know that's a pretty popular place to be. I told you off air, my son loves going there with his friends, and my wife and I were mad that we missed the oyster roast because I've been telling her that it was this Thursday, and I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I want to go, and I'm like, I screwed up, and it's not the first time, and she's used to it. But we'll hit that next time it comes around. The downtown revival has been, a pretty big deal there. There aren't too many buildings in downtown West Pelzer, but like you said, they went from empty to now you got a lot of offerings down there.
Yes, and if we had more buildings, we've already had multiple phone calls of a business that wants to come to the area, but we just don't have anything available. So everything's filled up. That's a good problem to have. I wish we had some more buildings along Main Street, but at this time we just don't.
I mean, is there any possibility of building anything, any more land?
There's always a possibility if you have an owner that wants to turn loose of some property.
It seems people hang on to property for a long time around here.
They love it. Organic growth is good though. I mean, you think about some of the best, or the coolest places in South Carolina organically grew. Travelers Rest didn't add a bunch of downtown buildings. They just started repurposing what they had and combining parking lots and rear entrances, and you got to get creative with it.
No, that's what you did with Westie's and Lincoln. That's pretty cool.
It goes to show, though, how proper planning plays such a critical role in opening up a business, because in 2015, 2015 or 2014 when we had a market study done, it showed us that an antique store would work. It showed us that a place that served alcohol was needed. It showed us that a coffee shop was needed, a sit-down restaurant was needed. And that's why we haven't had, outside of, one or two businesses, and there's a million reasons why a business does not succeed, but we haven't had a lot of turnover in business. I mean, Wesley's has been there 9 years. Coffee shop has been there going on probably 5 years. Milltown is 9 or 10 coming up. So everything has been there that 9 or 10 year period.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Now, I know that you had to clean up the mess that Blake left behind.
I'm still working on it.
And I know there was someone in between there before you came on. But why did you want to take the reins and be the mayor?
Well, at the time I was just elected council member in November, and then, of course, the previous mayor resigned, and so I took the opportunity to throw my name in the hat. I guess just looking at what Blake had did in that 8 years and watching some of that begin to crumble or have loose edges. And it's like I told one guy before, the day after I was elected, he asked me, and I said, well, I feel like my son planted a lot of seeds, and I feel like a lot of those seeds didn't get the water they need. So I'm kind of here to go behind him, try to water those seeds, plant some more stuff, and see if we can keep things moving.
Is this kind of a long-term thing for you, do you see? Or
could be.
Yeah?
Could
You liking
be.
it so far?
Yeah, I'm liking it so far.
I know you haven't been there very long,
Yeah.
but you've been in West Pelzer for a long time.
He hasn't had to go through 2 floods, a pandemic, natural disaster.
Right. And we don't own the water and sewer anymore, so hey.
Yeah, he's got it a lot easier than you did.
Well, and he's talking about water and seeds. There are some that I planted that they hadn't found yet. So
What do you think the biggest challenge is? You talked about the development of Main Street, but otherwise, the biggest challenge that's facing West Pelzer right now?
For me, I guess the biggest challenge is, pulling people together, trying to get residents to be involved, whether it's a town meeting, whether it's events that we're having downtown. But, we've had a lot of people moving to the area. There's new construction, new homes going up still on Dindy Street. So we've got a lot of people in the area, and we really want to get them involved in our town, whether it's, a day that we pick up trash, or if it's a day that we just meet for a celebration. A prime example is we're going to do Neighbors Night Out on April the 17th, a Friday night. So we have, I put out a brochure to the town after I was elected, kind of gave highlights for this next 8 to 10 months. This is what, we're looking at. This is what we're going to be doing. So on the 17th, we'll have like free barbecue. We've got music. We've got some jumpies. And really, it's no cost. Just want people to come out, socialize. We want our council members there. We want our policemen there. We want our town employees there, just so people can talk and begin to know, who's in the town and become part of that. Because as council members or mayors move on, we want to have people step into those roles, that feel like they belong to the town, not just because they're filling a void.
Right.
But it's their home.
Right. I saw somewhere, social media somewhere, where, you were encouraging people to get involved. And you know how it is. Today, everybody's behind their keyboards and act like they're really involved, but they'll never come out and make a change. But they can call you every name in the book that you're not doing what they want.
the loudest people are the smallest percentage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the other thing, which when Rocky Burgess was on, and soon we'll be getting Mr. Smithwick on from Pelzer, is when those towns work together, it works best for everybody.
It does, and actually, a couple of weeks after I took office, I called Rocky and Chase because I've known them all my life. And I said, look, guys, we need to get together and marry our calendars so you're not having a big event the same day I'm having a big event. We need to actually play off of each other. So we sat down together and did that. So, they can come and celebrate with us, and we can go and celebrate with them. And we're going to do a Tri-City 5K in November. So we're looking forward to that. And so we'll start at Palmetto High School, go down Depot Road, down through Pelzer, back up Courtney. We will hit all three cities.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So,
yeah, great. And finally, the future. What do you see for the future? What are you planning through all this? Obviously, getting more people involved is going to be a big deal, but what would be like a 5-year plan?
For me, a 5-year plan would be maybe in addition to the park. I'd like to find some area for us if we had the availability or the opportunity came for us to buy some property to maybe put an amphitheater or something of that nature that would really, I think, benefit us. And also maybe, another police officer. We have 3 officers. Since I've been in office, we have went to a 7-day. We were not on a 7-day. Doesn't say that we're 7 days, 24 hours a day, but we're 7 days that an officer is actually there in West Pelzer. So it'd be nice to have around the clock for the town of Pelzer. So next 5 years, I'm hoping that'll happen for us.
That'd be pretty cool to have a place to have events.
Yes.
Williamston has the park. You basically have the tap room right now is where all the
We
musical
do.
acts are.
and Chapman Park stays very busy.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of like a
It's
little
just
pocket
small.
park.
Yeah.
But I want us to outgrow it.
Yeah.
I really want us to outgrow it.
All right. We're going to take a quick break and come back and see what Blake's up to. Seeing what he's doing at the state level. Coming up, you're listening and watching the Boone Show on My Pulse Radio and YouTube. We'll be right back. All right, we're back on the Boone Show on My Pulse Radio. Our guests tonight, Rick Sanders, the mayor of West Pelzer, and Blake Sanders, who is now a state representative representing, what is it, District 9?
District 9.
And that, we were just mentioning during the break, is kind of a weird district. I mean, it's like follows a highway all the way up.
It does.
Explain that.
So half of the city of Anderson, I refer to it as the better half of the
Okay.
city of Anderson. Pelzer, West Pelzer, Williamston, and everywhere in between, as long as it's between 29 and Midway Road. The easier way to describe it is go to the jockey lot and drive 15 minutes in any direction, and that is District 9.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, when I looked that up, I was like, you got to be kidding me. From Powdersville all the way down?
Yeah,
But it's just a line.
It's a weird, long, linear district. There are 124 of us, and we all serve about 42,000 people.
Okay. All right. So first off, I just saw yesterday that you're already running for re-election.
Every 2 years, we definitely do it. Yeah, so I signed up yesterday. I feel like there's a lot left to be done. I also feel like I've just kind of learned how state government works and how different it is than local government. I was used to being the mayor where I could just make a phone call and make it happen. And yeah, in state government, it's a numbers game. There's 124 of us in the House, 46 in the Senate, and one governor. So it takes 65 people in the House on your side to get something passed. Then you need 24 senators to also agree with it, and then the governor has to agree with it. So a lot of checks and balances.
So how has that worked for you with some of the things that you've tried to accomplish?
Yeah, it's been, I have taken the approach as a freshman that my job is to keep my mouth shut and my ears open. So the first year I did a lot of listening. I didn't necessarily file any bills. I serve on the 3M committee, which is medical, military, and municipal affairs, and I'm on the subcommittee for municipal affairs, having served in local government for 12 years. The speaker thought that was a great fit, and I did as well. And I also serve on government efficiency and legislative oversight, which is every 7 years we review every state agency. And so this year I'm tasked with part of a subgroup that is reviewing Department of Employment and Workforce, DO, and the Conservation Bank, which I'm extremely passionate about conservation and how we sustain those properties. So I took that first year and just kind of listened and learned and started to understand maybe the organizational process of how legislation works, and put it to work this year. Got some good stuff filed, got some good stuff moving through that hopefully benefit District 9.
What are you most proud of so far?
Thus far, two things come to mind. The first being taxes. At the local level, we actually reduced taxes when I was mayor in West Pelzer, which you only reduce taxes when your revenue gets higher and higher, which we're able to do at the state level. So this year we passed income tax reform, which creates two separate flat taxes. So instead of being at 6%, it's going to be 5.19 is what the Senate has recommended. And then that has triggers that will eventually get the income tax down to zero. So that's a win. That's a long-term win, though, and I recognize that. 44% of people in South Carolina currently do not pay taxes. And so this kind of shifts that a little bit, but there will be 77% of individuals and families that do not see an increase or see a decrease in their taxes. But in that same realm, as far as taxes go, boat tax was one that I was passionate about. Having Lake Hartwell next door, son's on the fishing team. I have a 21-foot bass boat, and my boat taxes were more than my house taxes. So working with Gary Brewer out of the Low Country, we filed some legislation to reduce boat taxes over the next 2 years to 6%, which is the same as what your vehicle is. That will be passing the Senate and will be signed by the governor. And then the third is homestead exemption. So it's currently at $50,000. The Senate, we passed actually to raise it to $100,000, but the Senate passed a bill back to us to raise it to $150,000. So if you're over 65 years old, you've lived in the state of South Carolina for 10 years, your first $150,000 on real property will be tax-free. That's huge.
It is huge.
That's an enormous win for South Carolinians. So that was kind of the one arm. The other one, as I mentioned earlier, was conservation. And so some bills that I filed that we're working through relate to annexation and growth and how we preserve our farmland. So concurrency is a bill that gives cities the ability to essentially pass on a fee related to inadequate facilities. So if the roads can't handle it, the schools can't handle it, if the fire station can't handle it, then there are avenues that cities can collect from developers. Transferable development rights saves farmland, and then impact fees. So filed some legislation that would change how impact fees are used so that they could be used to resurface roads.
Yes.
So hopefully that'll push through. And believe it or not, the town of Pelzer cannot have property taxes.
Yeah.
And so that was
heard that.
created by the mills way back in the day. They've worked for years to get what's called zero millage passed. And so zero millage has passed the Senate unanimously. It sits in the Ways and Means Property Tax Subcommittee. That'll be getting a hearing in a couple of weeks. And so hopefully the people of Pelzer will have their opportunity to decide on their own if they want to have property taxes or not.
What do you think they're going to do?
I do not think they will vote for it. Who would vote for a tax for themselves? But I do believe that they should have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah. Well, we're not talking about Pelzer here, but it just seems like they haven't had much money to do things with.
Correct. And it takes
So
revenue
it's-
to do things.
Right. So it's a
definitely
tough thing. You never
Yeah.
want to vote for taxes, but they want a lot of stuff in Pelzer.
Yep.
We'll talk about that with
does.
Smith
With
when
Chase.
he
That's
gets
right.
here. Yeah,
That's right.
we'll do that.
I'll give you some talking points.
Yes, please do. Please do. Politics, has that been something you've wanted to do your entire life? Because, I mean, I know you have a side job
Yeah.
as a designer, and that, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but it's obviously you've seen with taking this big step how much more involved it is at the bigger level, and you're lobbying things you want, and other people are going to be lobbying you, and all this stuff going on all the time. Is this something you enjoy?
So I thoroughly enjoy policy. I hate politics.
There you go.
And I don't know that I really understood the political side of things as much as I want to understand policies and how they're created and how to make them better. One of the things I learned very or early on down there in year one was that I'm not the smartest person in the room. And even though I may have a great idea, there are 10 other people that know how to make it better. And so it takes all of us kind of working together. Across aisles, across caucuses, we've all got to work together, figure out our strong suits. And so my knowledge pool right now is so shallow and long. I can talk about, if you want to talk about energy, if you want to talk about conservation, if you want to talk about DUI law, tort reform, I can talk a little bit about a lot. But one of the great things about the committee process is that it allows us to get deep in certain aspects. I'm deep in the municipal affairs, and that's what I'm most passionate about. The other thing I'll say is there's a difference between campaigning and governing. And so the day that I was elected in the runoff, that is where governing started at and campaigning stopped at. And so even though I signed up for re-election in this campaign season, I'm still governing. And so I'm not campaigning. What I'm doing today is what I was doing yesterday, and I'll continue to govern until I'm no longer elected.
And this is so this is something that's going to go on for a while for you then. Until
Well,
you feel like you're not like Rocky Burgess saying, "Please don't reelect me."
I enjoy what I do, but I do not ever want to hold someone else back.
Right.
Because while I may be in a great spot right now for District 9, I know that I'm not the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. And so
Right.
if I'm ever holding somebody back, then I want them to run, even if it's against me. I want them to run. I mean, that's what makes us all stronger is competition.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I admire what you're doing, that's for sure, because the political climate, as they say, is not very good in the country nowadays. Everybody's so stubborn, not wanting to work with other people just because you might not believe something exactly like they do, and all of that. It's very frustrating just as someone on the outside. I can imagine how it is when you're on the inside.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting, too, because it's the clips that you see or the reels that you see on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and you think, oh, look how divisive it is in Columbia. That is 1% of the time, at least from my perspective. That's such a small percentage, and I also believe that we can have differences, and then we can all go out for a beer afterwards. And we don't have to talk about what's going on in subcommittees or on the House floor. I want to know how people's families are and how their community is. Because, I said this when I was mayor, but of the 271 cities, 200 of them are less than 5,000 people, and none of them are in competition. And so it's the same for the state reps. How can we make each other better?
Yeah, that just doesn't get ratings, though.
It does not get ratings. No, it doesn't. It doesn't score on scorecards. It doesn't do well when somebody yells at you and you smile and say thank you for that perspective. negative. I'll take that into consideration. It doesn't bode well.
It's good to hear, though. It's good to hear that there is another side to that. Right now, let's go to the phone lines, and you guys can feel free to chime in. Blake, you have had experience with a Zach session before, so please do talk about whatever Zach wants. Did you put him up there? Zach, are you there? Hello, Zach.
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Where are you?
Okay. I am in my truck talking on Bluetooth, so I wanted to make sure you could hear me okay.
Okay, we got you. What's what's going on?
Man, nothing much.
All right, there we go. There's Zach on the show. We'll be back after no, I'm just kidding. So, are you...
You are just hilarious. You're about as funny as Phillies baseball, let me tell you.
Here we go. We
Phillies
must be
in the
getting close to the start of the season. Another week to go. And you're still not watching the World Baseball Classic?
I'll be tuned in. Now, what was I doing at 8 o'clock last night? It was Monday night. What else would I
No,
be
you're
doing
watching
on
wrestling.
Monday night at 8 o'clock?
But your
Yeah.
boy Acuna
But
is
tonight-
playing for Venezuela tonight.
I know. Yeah, I know. It wouldn't make me mad if I see him go off on the USA.
It would
But,
make me mad. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, that's good sign for the Braves if he can go off and for Venezuela. So it's been pretty neat to watch the couple of games I've been tuned into.
Yeah. Have you guys have you watched any of it?
I have
the
not.
World Baseball Classic. It's kind of interesting because the other countries take it way more seriously than we do. It's like a business trip for the U.S. It's like they don't really get near as excited. But for some of these guys playing for their country, they had one guy that was like an electrician off the street and came in, and he was striking out guys. And he was like 32 years old, hardly played baseball. And he's playing. Then you got other guys that have been in the game, and they're like 40 years old, and they're out playing for their country just for pride of country. And it's pretty cool. The championship is tonight. It's
Okay.
U.S. and Venezuela, if you care to tune in. So, but anyway, Zach, what else is going on? You got your brackets filled out?
I have not yet. I don't have my brackets filled out yet. I usually wait till after the play-in games,
Yeah,
just
sure.
in case I have one of those. That messed me up a couple years ago, where the couple of teams when I was looking around. Let's just use Clemson for example. If they were in a play-in game and I'm looking and I'm a fan of another team and I want Clemson upsetting this team, I can't find them. Well, it's because I didn't wait for the play-in game to fill my bracket out. So now I know you've got till noon on Thursday. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Then, like we talked about last week, the number one seeds they're stacked this year, and even the twos are stacked. But Clemson don't stand a chance. I mean, I think they can beat Iowa, but once they hit Florida, especially with the Carter Welling injury, I think Florida will beat them by probably double digits.
Yeah.
But Duke's probably going to make a deep run. North Carolina, not really too sure. They're beat up, and which I mean Duke's down two starters too, but it hadn't hurt them any. The ones you got to watch out for, you've got to find that double seed that's going to make the Cinderella run. That's always my
Always
tough thing.
somebody.
Is
Yeah.
man, I
Usually that
just about
4-13 matchup, something like that.
yeah, 4-13, 12-5, somewhere
Yeah.
around in there. Even what is it? Is it 7-10?
Yeah.
7-10 or whatever. Yeah, 7-10. You got to watch them. Kentucky, they're real bad about losing in the first round. So it was Oakland that beat them a couple of years ago in the first round, and then you have Purdue get beat by these team you never even heard of. They were number one seed. So it's that's why they call it madness. That's why you play
That's
the
right.
game.
It's
Wasn't
always
it
a fun time of year.
Wasn't it the Gamecocks that were a 2 seed that got beat twice?
Yeah, in that like
early
4-3.
2000s?
Yeah, I remember those
Richmond
games.
Spiders beat
Yes, the Richmond Spiders.
Yeah.
Yep, back when they were good. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. By the way, Zach, we have our own brackets here that I put together. We only had 16 teams, but they're all the guests that we've had on the show this year. And you're a 1 seed. You got the most streaming and radio listens. So going into the tournament, you're a 1 seed. We'll see what people think. You're going up against.
Well, that's what I'm
you're going up
talking
against
about.
these guys because they're the last entry. They were in the play-in, so you're up against Blake Sanders and Rick Sanders. That's going to be a tough 116 there.
Ooh.
Well, that should go to show you right there. I need to be on your show more than like every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. You're the top-rated guest by streaming this year. I don't know. I didn't think you had that many friends that you could tell to check it out. I mean, it wasn't even close, really. It's amazing. But we'll see how you do. I'm going to tell you how that thing works next week, but because we only have 16 teams, so it's over pretty quick. But you got to beat these guys, and I know it's their top priority to be getting people to choose them. So
We plan on
nothing
saying
else to
something
do.
crazy to wrap the show up.
There
That
you
way
go.
We'll get listeners.
Yes, and I'll play it over and over again. Zach doesn't even have to plan to say something crazy. He always does anyway. So is there anything else going on? What else? So we got
Just,
basketball. We got it's too early for WrestleMania.
Just to tell. Speaking of wrestling, I guess I'm not sure how much you're able to watch anymore, but I guess you
Little
heard
bit.
about the Randy Orton Cody Rhodes deal.
Yeah, I saw him.
I
beating the tar out of
every
him.
minute of it. I'm ready for Cody Rhodes just to be out of here.
I think a lot of
I'm
people
tired
are.
of him
Yeah,
now.
and yeah, we'll see what happens. At least they're trying to get some
but, you know,
storylines going. It's been pretty boring.
Yeah, and people make fun of me all the time for watching it, but let me tell you, I really, really enjoy it. It's called entertainment for a reason.
Yeah, when you work a hard
I
day and you
really-
can just come home and just click your brain off and just watch some entertainment. There's nothing wrong with that.
I've got a funny story. There's a and then I'll get off here. There's a wrestling, I don't know, promotion, I guess what you would call it, called 3 Count Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And they come around, it's kind of comical, but they actually come to a church in Greenville, and they have like a little wrestling show, and it's guys like me that work a Monday through Friday job and do this on the weekend.
Oh, you've
Well,
got
me
to
and my
do
buddy-
that. You've got to do that. We'll do a show from there.
I know. Well, the guy that used to be over it is a distant cousin of my dad's, and he tried to get me to do it. I think I had just graduated high school, and I know me and Tiffany wasn't married yet, but he had tried to get me to do it. He's, man, I love your size. We could do a lot with you. But training was like 3 or 4 days a week, and it was like $45-50 a week. And it was just more than I could handle at the time. And I don't even know if I can make time for it now, and he's not even over it. But I said all that to say this. We went to West Side. It was after the Clemson-Appalachia State game, not a couple years ago, but back in like 2017. And me and my buddy Brett went to West Side, and this guy, we had our Clemson stuff on, and he was a Carolina fan, and we started talking junk to us, and that's back, right before Clemson went on their run after the 5 years in a row Carolina beat us. And so we actually seen the guy after the show, and we introduced ourselves. He said, man, y'all need to keep coming back because we love that. Talking about the interaction with the fans
Yeah.
and stuff. And I got to talk to him, ask him what he done and stuff. And he said, man, we love that.
We've gotta
we are
do that.
told to
Lincoln
interact
Tap
with y'all so y'all can
Set
interact
up
with
a
us. We love it.
Wrestling ring.
I'm all for it. I'm
Yeah.
a Ric Flair fan.
Yeah.
But that's what you need to do. You need to do the first annual WPPB The Pulse Mania.
Okay.
And you could be my Paul Heyman. You could be my wise man.
Yeah, I'll be your wise man. Your
And
oracle.
You do the strut. You do the walk.
Oh, I can do
do the
that
walk.
part.
That's
That's one thing I can do.
Don't tempt me.
We'll have
I
Dusty.
mean, don't you remember when I done? Don't you remember when I done all the entrances in class?
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
day?
He would walk into class with a different wrestling entrance every day.
Mm.
Mainly Randy Orton, but he did some others as well.
We may have the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, there we
announced
go.
For us.
Wish we could. That's kind of impossible. All right, we'll let you go then, and we'll check in again next week. All right, you still there?
No, I sent him away.
Wow, didn't even let him
Didn't
say
even
goodbye.
let-
This is somebody taking over the show here.
I couldn't
That's all right.
hear.
You couldn't hear me practically yelling? All right, that's all right. Let's move on. We're talking to Blake Sanders. Rick Sanders is here too. And back to some of the things you've been doing. Of course, you studied, planning and landscape architecture. You still teach over at Clemson?
I do not. The course I was teaching was in the spring, and you can't serve in the State House in the
Okay.
spring and teach at the same time. So I had to give something up. Yeah.
But you still, what do you still do, in that field? What are you working on right now?
You mean my day job?
Yeah,
My-
your day job.
Yeah, my paying gig. So I'm still blessed to get to travel from Louisiana to D.C., working in communities that believe in quality of life as an important aspect of how their cities grow. Working on trails and greenways and open space and streetscapes, and starting to have a little more of a focus on layered funding and strategic financing. But I'm doing work in Alexandria, Louisiana, Wauchula, Florida, which is south of Tampa, Camden, Beaufort, Pageland, you name it, I'm working in it. I'm trying to touch all 271 cities before I die. I'm at about 200 right now in
Really?
South Carolina. So
Wow.
there's some places that you wouldn't believe are cities that still are.
Yeah. Yeah.
That haven't hired me yet.
And what's the biggest thing that you're accomplishing right now with these cities?
I think the biggest thing, and I'll speak specifically toward Alexandria, Louisiana, which lost a lot of their structures post-Katrina, which has been 20 years ago. But it's a city that's still rebuilding and still trying to rebrand itself.
So that's in the southern part of the state.
It is not.
It's
It is
not.
up near the northern
Okay.
part. It's the Red River is the boundary, which is the threshold, I think, between red sauce and mustard sauce and Catholicism and Christianity. But it's a city that, because of all of the destruction from Katrina, is a bunch of brownfields, and so they're struggling with how do they rebuild. Louisiana Lafayette and Louisiana Alexandria are trying to build a new campus. They're trying to do an entertainment corridor to keep young people there. And so that has been a really fun project because it's in a community that is distressed and depressed, but only because of a natural disaster.
Right.
Before that, they were thriving, and so trying to work to build that back up. But it lets me bring back stories here when I go to Maysville, South Carolina, in Sumter County, a city of 900 people that has no businesses on Main Street. I'm able to tell the story of, hey, I was a mayor once in a city of 900 with no businesses, and this is how we do it. But then I'm also to say, hey, but let me tell you what they're doing in Louisiana. If you don't believe West Pelzer, let me tell you how Alexandria is doing it. So I don't know. I love my job. I love that I get to wake up and do it every day, and work at my own pace. And sometimes I say no to work, and that feels good too.
Yeah, sometimes you have to. So when you're doing a project like that, what all does it take, to get it done? You got to get a lot of people behind you. You got to get companies behind you to actually accomplish these things. They're all great ideas. How do you get them done?
Yeah, that's the fun part. So the planning side and the pretty pictures and really getting public buy-in, all those things are easy. I love to talk, and so I can easily get 10 people in the room to say that's a great idea. But I love sitting down after the plan is done and saying, okay, what's your priority? And if we can get all the people in the room to agree, or at least a majority to say that's their priority, I love figuring out how to fund it, how to get it built. I actually spoke last week with the Department of Commerce at their Rural Summit, and the example I gave, and you'll enjoy this as a baseball fan, is that in 1991, October of 1991, the Atlanta Braves were playing the Pittsburgh Pirates. Game 7 of the NLCS. Sid Bream is on second. David Justice is on third. And a little guy comes up to the plate who has had 3 hits all year, 2 homers in his entire career, and his name was?
I forget who hit the ball.
Francisco Cabrera.
Yeah, okay.
Francisco Cabrera did not hit a home run to win that game. He did not hit a 500-foot Mark McGuire bullet, out of the park. He didn't hit one like Barry Bonds into the San Francisco Bay. He hit a blooper single to send the Braves to the World Series that they would eventually lose to Kirby Puckett and the Twins.
Right.
But singles win games. And so in
You could look at that too. Like Sid Bream wasn't the fastest runner
He
in the
was
world
not.
either.
He was not. He was the
had
slowest
a piano
person
on
on
his
the
back,
field.
and somehow he just made it in.
But that's how I get to describe what I do. It's about implementation is about hitting singles. We only want to hit singles.
Right.
We do not need West Pelzer to try to swing for the fences. We don't need the city of Greenville to try to swing for the fences. The home runs are hit by the Department of Commerce and the state and the federal level. Leave that to us. You go hit singles every day, and you'll win ball games.
Yeah. Get people on base, knock them
Yeah.
around, keep the merry-go-round going.
That's all you need to do.
What's the most important thing right now in District 9?
Most important thing in District 9, or what I hear the most, is growth, 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 and growth.
Yeah.
And
a
it's
lot
not
of it.
necessarily how do we stop it, it's how do we control it. And so as a city planner, I think cities are intended to be dense. I think there's no reason why West Pelzer shouldn't have a 3 or 4 story building on Main Street. I think that's God intended those cities to be places to live, work, play, and learn. And the counties are supposed to be places that were, there were market roads, farm to farm roads, and so that's why I'm so focused on agriculture and conservation. If we can create boundary, if we can find farmers that want to save their farmland, we have a fund at the state level that will pay them to keep their farm, and that's what we're trying to do is create boundaries around our cities so they don't explode. We don't want to be another Atlanta.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
I don't want us to be another Atlanta.
Yeah. And when you're serving in your position now, when problems come up and you represent, a small area, when do you recommend they take care of it at the local level, and when does the state step in?
Yep. So great question, and without giving you a boring answer, I'll say that I believe in home rule. State, instituted that many years ago, which means our cities and counties know better than anyone else how to govern at home. And so we try to make sure that what we pass does not constrain them, that we do not give them unfunded mandates, and that they have an opportunity to make their own decisions. When they fail at making their own decisions, that's when the state has to step in and say, hey, let's think about how this looks or how this works. I think growth is one of those. The other one, it's a statewide story, not a local story, but there was a school built next to a solar facility, solar manufacturing facility. They had a 1,500 gallon spill at that facility that caused the school to have to shut down for the day. Parents are, losing their minds. School board members are going to lose their positions. People are going to get fired. And that was a zoning issue that the locals, I think, got wrong. And because of that, the state's going to have to step in and say, all right, this is how you resolve this. This is what you should have done. And now we're going to create new parameters so that West Pelzer doesn't make that same mistake.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Sense. They had a solar spill? Is that what happened?
However they make solar panels, they didn't spill sunlight.
Oh,
as to
okay. That's what I was
thought.
wondering. It's, that's... you
I
always
told
use
you
a
without
little more
giving
of
you
that.
a boring answer, I'd give you just a tidbit of an answer.
Oh, we're going to shift gears here, and I found some stories in the news that you guys might find entertaining, but I at least want to hear kind of your view on them and things you might want to try in your political careers or set up or agree with, disagree. Here's what we found. We'll see how much time we got to deal with these. But one of these stories, it's happening in Boston. It's happening, I believe, in Texas and in California. These phone booths are popping up. Did you see this? That say on them, call a boomer. And they're like old phone booths, no digits on the phone, right? You just pick it up. And what happens in Boston is that it'll ring in a senior living complex in Nevada. And they pick up the phone and you talk to a senior.
I did not know that. Love the idea. The time zone difference
West
would be
Pelzer
funny.
Yes, it would be. I think they said they woke up somebody at 3 a.m. or whatever. But see what you can see what the little phone booth looks like there.
Call a boomer.
Yeah, call a boomer.
Not a bad idea.
And that they're trying to get people to connect and the different
great
age
idea.
groups to connect.
So,
And
we have a phone booth inside the Lincoln.
do you?
Yes.
I was just at
called the John
South
Wilkes
Cove
phone booth.
County Park down in Seneca the other day, and they had a payphone out there. I took a picture of it because I haven't seen one in such a long time. It was like in the wild, a phone booth.
In the wild.
Well, the parking lot, but anyway. So it was just kind of an interesting, and then it says on the other end where the seniors can make a call, it says call a Zoomer. And somebody, they have these at like Boston University or, hangouts like I think there was one at a bar or whatever for younger people to try to connect with older people. So
Interesting. Wonder if
Yeah.
anybody has met and gotten married off of it.
that I'll have to research that when I get time. But just thought it was interesting. There's nothing political about it or anything. You
Yeah.
just get on and try to have a conversation. They say sometimes you get the voicemail. You just leave a voicemail for somebody. But other times they say people have enjoyed just having a conversation with a stranger that's a totally different age and just talking about life. So
How do you
what
start
the
that
heck?
conversation?
I don't know.
Somebody
Hey.
says hello and you go, I'm Blake. I'm a 43-year-old male.
Yeah, I guess. Residing in Pelzer, West Pelzer. All right, this other thing I saw in the news was Buc-ee's getting an F rating from the Better Business Bureau. Did you see anything about this?
I did not.
For customer service. Now, are you a Buc-ee's fan?
I am not a Buc-ee's fan. I've been to two, not my favorite.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, I'm sort of a Buc-ee's fan. We, right off the bat, we got sucked in. We got all the T-shirts and all that stuff.
Yep.
It's a cash grab. No. But the fact is, they still have the best bathrooms and usually the lowest cost gas.
Yep.
So when we're out on the road, we're usually stopping at them, even if that's all we do. Which good for them. But evidently, they don't answer any of their complaints.
I did not know that.
That people have. Now, not at every one, but it says here 38 different ones failed to respond to a total of 88 consumer complaints. And they would be about things like the food and stuff like that. But evidently, the Better Business Bureau, you don't have to answer to them. You don't have to tell them that I didn't know this, we answered all these things. You can just answer them directly and not tell the Better Business Bureau or whatever. But, interesting to see because somebody is out there saying, not Buc-ee's. My gosh, they're the best thing in the world. And they're not coming to Anderson because, why is that, Mr. Representative?
It costs way too much money. Way too much money. I think the investment was $60 million to
Is
redo
most of
the
that to
bridge.
redo that? That whole interchange needs to be redone anyway. There's cars everywhere.
There are, it's because of the industry on the other side. My thought was, if that's really where Buc-ee's wanted to go, then Buc-ee's could pay for it. Otherwise, they need to pick another location.
Yeah. Do you think a Buc-ee's, something of that magnitude, would be good or bad for the area?
I might be criticized for saying this, but I think that those sort of economic decisions are bad for the area. They're not lifelong, they're not timeless, and in 50 years they won't be here. Mayor Joe Riley said it best: "You only stay up at night on decisions that will still ring true in 100 years." And I do not believe that Buc-ee's will be here in 100 years.
It'll be something else. It might
It'll-
be Blake's.
But it'll give teenagers jobs.
Yeah, your mic. Get on your mic.
It's on.
Yeah, but you're not up on it. You're sitting like 5 feet
it'll
away.
give teenagers jobs. Because I know, like,
Ah.
Buc-ee's, I
They
looked
pay
at the
well.
sign. Yeah, they pay a lot more than anything else. And a lot of teenagers, all they're looking for is jobs. Oh, well, I'm trying to quit this. I want to go somewhere else because blah, 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 whatever.
Senator Rickenbach in Florence, which is where the only
that one
Buc-ee's
is
in South
only-
Carolina.
That's overcrowded every time we go. down there.
Overcrowded, and their pay scale was so high it forced the unemployment rate to go up because the other service stations couldn't raise the pay fast enough, and they were all jumping ship to go to work at Buc-ee's.
Of course. So how do you balance things like that? They may not be there in 100 years, but for right now, does it help with progress? Does it help with employment? Those type of things.
Yeah, the argument could definitely be made that Buc-ee's is going to, hire 600 people, 250 full timers, and it's an economic engine. I would just argue that is that the best use of 15 acres of property next to the interstate of high visibility is to incentivize a Buc-ee's to be there.
Well, they got complaints about the car wash. A lot of them have car washes now. Broken or ineffective merchandise, erroneous card charges, and evidently that Buc-ee's doesn't respond back.
They're
I
very
don't know.
similar to bargains in that you can buy anything in Buc-ee's. You can buy a bathing suit, food, barbecue sandwiches, and
They're
in
very
bargains
good.
you can buy the same thing.
Yeah, well, that's true. Locally run.
We have a local Buc-ee's. It's called Bargains.
Now, we had one experience with Buc-ee's where my wife left her credit card at one, and we had to call because when we were like, I don't know, half an hour down the road before she even realized. So she called, but it was like an 800 number, not the exact Buc-ee's. And we're like, how are we going to know if they ever get the message? But in our case, they actually called right back because evidently they have people working the lines or whatever, and we were able to go back and get the card. But I can see how it would be frustrating for a lot of people that, you were just at the one in Kentucky or wherever, and you just get a 1-800 customer service line, and that's it. You have to leave a message, and they'll call you back.
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. As evidently, a lot of them don't. Another thing in the news, I saw you guys during the snowstorm out there on the hill, and Rocky was telling us all about the church service, and I think that was your idea, wasn't it? I saw it on social media, and it must have been freezing that day, that first day, but having a good time with all the different communities. Now, I think, didn't Rocky win the race down the hill? I think I saw you lagging behind him.
He's the heaviest, and that's why he won.
He's got more torque going down the hill. But that was a good idea with everybody getting together, kind of on a spur of the moment thing, and that was one of the things you like to see about these three communities getting together.
And I think you're going to see more of that between Williamston, Pelzer, and West Pelzer, because we got a few things up our sleeve. So.
That's good.
But yeah, I cooked up 100 hot dogs and carried.
That's right.
And they were going about 20 minutes. So it was probably a couple of hundred people there. Better.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know.
Awesome.
I had
Were you
I
there?
had driven by.
Oh,
no,
you were.
I had driven by and I seen a bunch of people. I was like, dang, I wish I was invited to that.
You were invited.
But I
Everybody-
didn't know. I
Just
didn't
go
know
over
nothing
there,
about
take
it.
a
And I was
hot
like,
dog,
oh,
get some hot
well,
chocolate.
They're having a blast.
Yeah,
Like, they
it
were
looked like
having
everybody
so
was
much
having a
fun.
blast. I was sorry I didn't live up here. Now that I'm way down at Exit 1, but sound like a good time. But I saw in the news that there's another way to go down the slopes that they're doing up in Maine, where they get a bit more snow, mind you, but that is on a mattress. They have mattress races down the slopes that you might want to keep in mind for next time we get a snow in 5 years. Maybe you want to try
mattress
this.
off the bed. And
They
it
take a
up.
mattress, they decorate it, and slide down. It's almost like one of those Red Bull things where they do the different jumps and stuff. They slide down the hill, have different themes to their mattress, and it has a couple of jumps in the hill and a hay bale to stop them at the end. And they say that the best way to get down the hill the quickest is they either wrap the mattress in duct tape or spread a little dish soap or WD-40 on the bottom to make them go faster. They must have seen Christmas Vacation.
They had to.
to figure that out. But just a thought to keep in mind. I think I'd like to see that.
Well, luckily they just had a mattress sale at Palmetto High School last week. There might be some left over.
Now, those are expensive mattresses. We still have one that we got years ago from one of those sales at Palmetto.
So somebody did stop.
Yeah. We were wondering who's driving down the road going, I got to have a mattress today.
There's this lady in Florida that got in trouble for running an unlicensed therapy practice from a Waffle House.
Oh.
I mean, to me, that seems like, that's
What sort
good
of therapy?
entrepreneurship. She was doing it for 6 hours. Evidently,
Massage therapy?
No. This is, just talking.
Oh.
Yeah, not massage, not massage therapy.
Just trying to get listeners to make sure we beat Zach.
Yeah, we do need to do that because they'll take a clip and then play it back. 44 years old. She just set up in a booth at a Waffle House, had a legal pad, a box of tissues, and a small sign that said "Walk-ins welcome." And she spent 6 hours there before the cops said that she had to leave. But one guy on his way out said he got way more out of her than his regular therapist. One man stayed for 90 minutes talking to her.
Is that right? How did they?
But evidently they're tying up booth 4, so
Well, anybody that could sit 6 hours in the Waffle House and not freeze to death should be allowed
that's a
to
good
stay
point. Why are they
a
always so
little
cold?
longer. Get
They
you-
should hire her.
If you have to
and
sit up
make
next to
more
the
money.
window, it's impossible.
Yes.
Yes. But she was charged with practicing without a license and trespassing.
She was charged for that?
The tissues were confiscated. The legal pad contained what officers described as surprisingly detailed notes. And Booth 4 has been returned to standard operations.
To the people.
And finally, this is one that you can enjoy, Danica. The problem with, I should have saved this when I had a principal on, but you guys can understand. You all have kids. Teachers are facing challenges in the classroom. It's tough to get teachers to come back, to stay, and get hired. And they ask teachers what are the problems that they're facing nowadays in the classroom.
Teenagers.
Well,
Just
that's the general answer, yes. But some of the specific things, one, they can't read a clock. Unless
can't
it's
read a
digital.
clock.
See? Yeah, I thought
cannot
so.
read a clock.
Can't read a clock
I
unless
learned-
it's digital.
Really?
We learned in
If I
elementary
say it's
school, and
quarter
I
to
done
7, she
forgot.
has no idea what time that is.
Wow.
Right? What's quarter to 7?
I have no clue.
See?
That's
I'm not even.
unbelievable.
Yep. Let's see. Next one.
Maybe we do need that Buc-ee's.
We can learn to read a clock
The
if they
money's
keep
not gonna
teaching
change
us. They
anything.
taught us in elementary school and
Truth.
stopped right there.
The other another thing, kids know they will pass no matter how unqualified, ill-equipped, and unprepared they are. They come to school with the attitude of, I won't do the work and you can't make me. That happens with students I have. Danica hasn't done that, but some have.
Truth.
They'll come up to you and just say, I'm not doing that assignment.
We also passed the lower the floor bill this year in the State House.
Yeah,
So
so
they-
what's that mean?
It means you can give an actual grade now.
Without them passing. Yes. All right. And that must be tough in the State House. You have the educational people because they got to pass.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right. This lady had fourth graders who couldn't write their first and last names.
That was my sister.
Couldn't even write their names.
She
in
couldn't
fourth
figure
grade.
out how to spell her name. Yeah, she struggled to spell her name because her name's Serenity.
Serenity now.
I almost said it. Great episode.
Oh, yes, indeed. And of course, you know this, students using AI to think for them, write for them, summarize any readings for them that are more than a paragraph. And the technology there, but they're not being told how to harness it and use it for success. Talked earlier, just before AI got so into education, really, so easy for kids to use, just when Google was starting, kids are using that so much that they're not learning anything anymore. Mm-hmm. They just plug something in, get an answer, move on, and it doesn't stick at all.
And everybody's an expert at everything.
Yeah. Until they have to get a job. Let's see. This lady says, I just retired after spending decades teaching an intro course at the university. Cheating is too norm and accepted. Critical thinking out the door. And ChatGPT, the only way students answer questions or write something on assigned topics. Is that true, Danica?
Yeah.
See, she admits it. Now, you can use ChatGPT. I use it in help for research, but you still have to check your sources. But it does, save time on research. Here's one. And these are all ideas for you for bills in the house, okay? They say, I teach high school. Number of kids I see who cannot get through a day without some sort of chemical stimulus is unhinged. The number of kids who take sleep aids, then turn around and down 2 to 5 monsters during school hours, and then follow it up with something else, whether it be weed or something else. Chemicals all day long. Help them sleep, help them be awake, help them relax.
You can go buy a weed drink right now,
Yes, you can.
any
In
age.
fact, there's one that's called that, isn't there? That's just, I forget what it's called. But I went to a concert where the band was actually promoting the drink.
They're age unrestricted. A 13-year-old could go buy one.
No, thank you.
It's a loophole. We're going to close it this year.
Are you? All right, yeah, close that loophole. Kids come into kindergarten now not using crayons or pencils because they've been on the computer so much, and therefore they cannot or won't even try to color, trace, draw, or write.
I believe it.
Okay, I prefer paper over the Chromebooks. Can we just like get rid of computers? Just go back to the old stuff where y'all used to use like pens and paper and that was it?
That's fine with me. Fine with me.
There was a bill filed this year that would do that.
See, look, we're getting all these answers on education now. Kids don't know how to address an envelope, where to put things on an envelope, or even to fold up the paper to fit in the envelope.
I know how to do that.
That's sad.
It's just they don't do it anymore. They got email. They got messaging. Who writes a letter? I'm sure they can't write a check for the bank either. And the final thing is they don't know how to use a ruler.
I believe that.
You
I
know how
can
to
use a ruler.
Some kids cannot even locate full inches on a ruler, let alone, the half inches, the quarter inches, whatever. So that is a challenge to you. That is a challenge to you, Mr. Sanders, Representative Sanders.
To fix the next
to
generation.
fix it. South Carolina, yes, all you have to do is fix the next generation, and I'll be happy.
Oh, good. I'll do that.
Okay, so, but finally, we always do recommendations at the end of our show for entertainment and food. So if it's something that you're watching, binging, I know you guys don't have much time,
Oh, I
reading
got one
a
this
book
time.
that you're reading, something like that. We've come up with quite the list of things that people recommend for other people to do. Entertainment's the first one, and then we'll come back around and do food, and that can be a specific restaurant or a specific dish at a place or something you make on your own even. So here we go. Blake, entertainment recommendation.
Entertainment recommendations. This is a tough one. I'm going to start with food.
Okay.
Here's my recommendation on food. I will post the recipe on my Facebook, or I'll send it to you. You can post on,
And that is,
post on yours.
what's the Facebook?
I'll put it on Vote Blake Sanders.
Yes.
Yep. At Vote Blake Sanders. It is rabbit stew, and you can buy the rabbit fresh and local at Bargains in Pelzer. True story.
Bargain's getting some plugs on
Yeah,
the
I'm
show
giving
today.
some plugs.
Rabbit?
Really, really good. That's my favorite. That's my favorite
Rabbit stew.
winter dish to cook is rabbit stew.
I've never
it's
had
really
it.
good.
What does rabbit taste like? Chicken?
Um,
That's what they always say.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is
We'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. That's my favorite. The other would be $1 million spaghetti.
Yeah.
Pop likes my $1 million
Oh, yeah.
spaghetti.
That's probably the recipe I would have said.
People come from all over to.
Oh, yeah?
to eat
And
my
what makes it $1 million?
$1 I have no idea.
We'll have to let you sample it,
Yeah,
and then
and
you
you
tell
tell me if
us.
it's a-
Well,
$1 million.
okay. Bring some in. We'll do that.
We need a spaghetti festival.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's right. That
spaghetti
sounds like a
festival.
good thing for
I
West
could-
Pelzer.
I could
Spaghetti
get behind
Festival
that.
can go concurrent with the wrestling that we're going to do
Yep.
Yeah.
at the Lincoln Tap Room.
Entertainment's a tough one for me. I don't have any recommendations on entertainment.
Really? Not reading a book or anything, or something recently? It doesn't have to be like
All
right now.
So, I mean, I'm such a boring individual though. So the last book I read was The Concise Role of Government by Senator Vincent Shaheen, who is now the mayor of Camden, which goes through why each state agency exists and the role of government, what it plays in the state and the cities.
Okay, you are boring.
But it is an autographed copy.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, that's something you need to know that will enhance your career. So
you
good
go.
for you. All right, Rick, what you got?
For food, maybe favorite restaurant. How about that?
Okay.
Would probably be El Matador. It's in Greenville up on Wade Hampton. It's been over 50 years now.
Yeah, I
So
think I know which one you're talking about.
It's totally different than all your typical Mexican restaurants
Okay.
in the area. So
And there are a lot of
and
them.
it's not authentic.
no, it's not authentic, but
It's
it's
just
just
good.
it's just
It's
different.
just good.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, not authentic?
Well, if you've had authentic, you know that it's not loaded down with salsa, or if it is, it's a homemade salsa, but it's more.
It's just American Mexican.
American Mexican?
Yeah, but you can't get a Speedy Gonzales.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, covered in
That's-
red sauce.
That's
yeah.
how I describe it.
Yeah, like number five
lunch
is number
special.
five
Yes.
everywhere. So
yeah. Okay.
So that's not the case at the El Matador. I don't know. Entertainment for me, I don't know. I'm just an old '70s guy, but we have a lot of good entertainment at the Lincoln Tap Room.
Yeah.
A lot of local talent, some that's passing through. So I like a mixed bag
Yeah.
of music. I'm still like some classical stuff. but I'm a 70s guy. So
All right. I'm an
Cool in the
80s
Gang
guy.
was good. Did you get to go see Cool in the Gang when
I
they
did
were in
not.
Anderson? Oh,
I did not.
I was there.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? You're just too young. You missed some of that great stuff. They still have original members in that group. They've lost a couple, I think.
They lost one actually about 6 weeks before they came.
Oh, really?
But I know of 2 of them that were the original
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, they were fun back in the day.
Y'all are telling y'all's age.
Yeah, well, I don't know how old Rick was, but I grew up in the 80s. So
He wasn't. He's
No,
not that.
no,
that
I had
older
kids
than
in the 80s.
I don't have any that I know of. Just kidding. All right,
Okay.
you want to do this
Yes,
week?
yes,
you're,
yes.
You're chiming in for once.
I've never got to do this. But when I went to Florida, there's a place called Cece's Pizza. It's pizza.
Cece's? They've got one here.
Yes. Listen. They had golf and they had like what was it? They had golf and something else.
What do you mean golf?
An arcade. They had a golf and
an
arcade in
Yeah,
there.
they had that
yeah,
at
it was
the
nice.
CC's.
Where's
Where's the closest one around here that's
They
still open?
closed.
They closed all of them.
Ha.
They closed the one in Easley
Closed the one in Anderson.
in Anderson, so they're not even around here
It's the
anymore.
only place that had blueberry pizza.
Yeah,
They didn't have one when I went.
my kids loved that place growing up.
I've never been. It was my first time
It's
going
one of the
in
easiest things
Florida.
to take a bunch of kids to.
But also I have
Cece's Pizza.
yes, it was really good.
All right.
Besides that, for entertainment, I started this new show. It's called Young Sherlock. So if you like Sherlock
yes,
Holmes
just came
and all
out.
that, yeah, it's
Guy
really
Ritchie
good.
is involved with that, directing that, I believe.
Yeah,
So
that's-
I started the first episode and then I turned and watched the game. So
I'm trying to
I
think
might get
what
back
the
to
last
it.
thing I watched on Netflix was, but I don't know. It was a show. It's like 8 episodes. I don't even remember.
There's been some good ones out there. There's been some bad ones too, but I'm
I did
always.
like the you.
Oh, you watched that?
You?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you like that?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. It was kind of
I
that
haven't seen
weird.
it.
Yeah, it's kind of
thriller.
psychotic.
Yeah,
kind of,
psychotic.
yeah, yeah. The earlier seasons were better, but
Agreed.
I mean, you can only go so far with
Agreed.
the premise.
Agreed.
Y'all
But
been-
I like those kind of shows too. My wife, she's every time I bring up a new show to watch, and it has like a slow intro and stuff like that. She's like, "Why? It's always this dark stuff. What is wrong with you?"
yeah.
And I'm like, "I can't find anything else that's any good anyway. I like a good mystery, and
I do too.
you know, so
The thrill.
the thrill. Yeah, the thrill.
I rewatched Grey's Anatomy again for the
Oh my
third
gosh."
time. I stopped watching it after everybody I liked died. So we're just
And that's been around, what, for 20 years or something? I
Yeah.
don't know. It's been a long time. All right. So with that, we wrap it up. We've run a little long, but I could talk to these guys forever. Rick, are you okay over there? Because I know
Yep.
Blake kind of took over.
Sorry.
It's okay.
All right. Did you have anything else you want to add?
No, again, I appreciate you asking me to be here.
Anytime. And we'd like to, come over to West Pelzer. I know we can't do events at the tap room with the school, but we can do
Sure you can.
events. But yeah, I mean,
But we may do a wrestling event.
if we do that, yes, wrestling and root beer. And but
Spaghetti.
I'd like to be at the Westies thing and some of the other things you're doing.
Yeah.
And I actually think there's been students at the Westies Vintage Market before.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
actually
you're
did the
right.
show there.
I think you're right. And
Didn't
the
y'all win
yard
the
sale.
parade?
We were at the yard sale once too.
Yep. You were at the yard sale. Did y'all win the parade?
Yeah, we may have. We win it a lot.
Yeah. I think y'all won like 3 that I was at.
You were. Yeah, we did win 3 this year. 3
Yeah.
out of the 4. The 4th one didn't have any judges. So
Oh.
I know
forget
y'all won
which one
Honey,
that was.
Honeypath,
we won Honeypath.
Williamston, and West Pelzer.
I
I
was
guess
the
that was the
platypus.
3.
for
We
one
were
of them.
at Honeypath, Belton, West Pelzer, and Williamston.
Sweet.
So, yeah, we always like the West Pelzer. The nighttime parades, I like them a lot better than the
Yeah.
daytime.
Well, y'all
with
do
all the
a good
lights
job
and
of
all that.
decorating.
Well, I tell you, this year was all the golf carts, and we were the Express.
Polar Express.
Yeah, Polar Express. I know that song by heart now because we just kept playing it over and over. It's like riding It's a Small World. But we always have fun with that, and that's a good thing to get together with other members that work here and just do something fun.
Yep.
It's a long day going to all those parades, but it's fun.
Yep.
It's fun. So yeah, we'd like to get involved more. And Blake, let us know if we can do anything. Any ideas you have for us?
Appreciate it. Thank you
And
so much.
you
for
are
letting
welcome
me
to come back anytime and talk about what you're up to.
Yeah.
It's been too long. You got to come back more often.
It has been. Invite me back. I'll come back. My last thing will be since we didn't make our our guest brackets, I guess.
Yes, I will send you a
we
copy.
Well,
So-
not necessarily that guest bracket. But
Oh.
I want to pick who's.
You
gonna-
want to do the
I
NCAA?
want to pick who's going to win. I'm going to go with the University of Florida.
Okay, that's a good choice. Do you have a choice, Rick?
Duke.
Yeah, another good choice. I don't know yet.
Houston.
This is the time of year that I start watching college basketball,
Same.
so I'm not real versed in it yet because I take football all the way up to the very end, and then I start watching college basketball.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, thank you guys for being here. It's just awesome to have you in studio. Next week we've got a show planned. I can't tell you about it right now, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun next week, 4:00. Don't forget, tell your friends that didn't catch us live that they can catch us on the podcast. In a couple of days, it'll be up on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to sponsor, Jay Boone at mypulseradio.com. That would be great. Anything we raise by you being a sponsor on the show goes towards our kids going on their field trips for the program, so that helps out a lot. And we'll talk to you next week on The Boone Show. Thanks for listening.